as he goes on an epic journey to try and conquer Rafael Nadal. Remember, he's been out of the sport for a good 8-9 months last year, but has rebounded strongly here in 2011.
Fans anticipating seeing Rafael Nadal and Juan Martín Del Potro here in just a moment. They're doing their off-court interviews just prior to the match. As Nadal was on this court last night in a losing effort, he and his doubles partner Mark Lopez fell to Roger Federer and Stan Wawrinka. A huge crowd here for that match. And we're expecting another great day of tennis and big crowds once again here in Indian Wells.
Well, the anticipation is at fever pitch. There's so much on the line as far as both matches are concerned today. Nadal has played well here in the past. Del Potro has never been this far in Indian Wells, so huge opportunity for him. Whenever you come across the very best player on the planet, you know that you're going to have to produce something special, which he did at the US Open in 2009.
Yeah, that was an unbelievable performance, really. I mean, still, when I think back on it, I'm still surprised that it happened. And here is Juan Martín Del Potro, the 2009 US Open champion, who missed 8 months last year to recover from a wrist injury and wrist surgery. And there were a lot of questions that had to be answered for him heading into 2011, and he has been answering them very consistently. But today, his toughest test, taking on the world #1, Rafael Nadal.
There's not many players in the sport who can hit through Nadal, and when Del Potro was in his pomp in the latter half of 2009, he was one of the players who was able to do that. And we were anticipating a lot in 2010, but it was such a pity that he got injured, that he couldn't challenge both Federer, Nadal, and I guess Djokovic on a regular basis. Andy Murray filled that void as well. They became known as the Quad Squad, the four of them battling out most semi-finals at Masters 1000 level and at the Grand Slams. Today it's Del Potro who's taken his place on center stage, looking to crash the party.
When you found out, Robbie, that Del Potro had the wrist injury and was going to have the surgery and all that, did you question whether or not he'd be able to come back?
No, in fact, I thought it was going to be quicker. I thought he would maybe be out of this for about 3 or 4 months tops. So that's why it never even entered my mind that this could be something that could really threaten his entire career. But I guess he's got youth on his side, and he's done the rehabilitation properly. I think that's the big thing, Sam. So many players come back too early. How often do we hear about players coming back too early from injuries? Especially when they're starting their career, they're a little bit naive. They don't know too much about how to recover properly. But I think this guy's had a lot of good advice, and he's taken the scenic route, but it's the right route. They say precise preparation prevents poor performance. Nadal is very precise in everything that he does. It's the same routine.
You could probably go down there and do the same routine. So could I, Robbie. We see it so much. It is the same thing every match. Doesn't matter if it's first round, semifinals, final. And we're finally ready as Mohamed Layani will conduct the coin toss.
We have a net machine and TV changeovers, and Hawkeye, please let me know timely, clear manner. And the rest is same. Try 5 minutes warm up, okay? Por favor. Okay, Cara. Gracias. Sales, Rafa. Receive. Okay, so bon match, yeah?
Rafael Nadal sprint back, and we're ready to begin. So our first highly anticipated semifinal here at the BNP Paribas Open. Inside that stadium, Rafael Nadal and Juan Martín Del Potro will renew their rivalry. It's their first match since their U.S. Open semifinal in 2009, which of course Del Potro won and then went on to win his one and only Grand Slam title. I'm Sam Gore along with Robbie Koenig. Honored to be part of this historic day here in Indian Wells. The first time since '95 that we've had 4 Grand Slam winners arrive at this stage in the tournament. Nadal, Del Potro, Djokovic, and Federer all will do battle for the right to win this title tomorrow. Rafael Nadal, a 2-time champion of this event, back in the hunt to try to defend that title. Last year, he lost at this stage to Ivan Lubicic, and this year, Robbie, somewhat surprising, no titles for Nadal. In fact, no final appearances.
Yeah, had a little bit of health issues. I remember in Doha, I was commentating there, and he came down with a bit of a flu, and it kind of carried over to Australia. He wasn't able to give of his best, especially in that match against David Ferrer, where he had little adductor problems. We've heard a lot about those of late. Tommy Robredo suffering that injury as well. We've heard in the past the guys like Magnus Norman, Leighton Hewitt, all having issues with adductors, but currently sits atop the pile. He's pretty safe on that perch. And his Masters 1000 record is unmatched in the sport of tennis. He has 18 Masters 1000 titles. Second is Agassi and Federer on 17. Federer's actually had a couple of chances to match that number, but hasn't been able to. He's had a pretty comfortable route initially, didn't he?
Until that last match.
Yeah, against Ivo Kolovic, that was an absolute nail-biter, third set breaker. Every single spectator here on the edge of their seat, including all those in charge of the tournament, they were thoroughly enjoying the battle, and I'm sure they enjoyed the battle, but I'm glad that Nadal eventually prevailed.
Classic match, instant classic. In fact, I think it put a dampener on the matches yesterday because it was such an exclamation point to end that night before. Today, though, another day, another opponent to try to get through, and this man, Juan Martín Del Potro, does have the ability to hit through Rafael Nadal. He's only 22. You see his record this year, 17-4. He's been steadily progressing. Semifinals in San Jose and Memphis back-to-back, and then one Delray Beach coming into the BNP Paribas Open. So he's been getting better and better each week as his ranking has been skyrocketing.
Yeah, from number 484 at the beginning of February to currently ranked number 90 this week, and we know that this guy's top 10 material is no question about that. And it's just a matter of time before he starts progressing up the rankings. And we know with a couple of Masters 1000 events coming up as well on clay, this guy's going to be there sooner rather than later. His Masters record's a good one. He's been a runner-up twice. Montreal in 2009, where he lost to Andy Murray, of course. And also the Tennis Masters Cup, where he lost in the finals there to Nikolai Davydenko.
And here's a look at his road through, because he's not seeded. He did not get a bye, so an extra match for Del Potro. But then he got the walkover from Tommy Robredo, so it ended up he only had to go on court for 4 matches. Beat Lubicic, the defending champion, here in the second round, and Kohlschreiber certainly wasn't an easy match.
Yeah, that second set tiebreaker, he came back from 6-1 down to finally turn it around. So was able to dig deep, and I'm sure he's glad he got that one done in straight, because he was looking a little jaded.
Big time history between these two. Seems like they only play in big tournaments. In that last meeting, the U.S. Open semi, of course, Del Potro blasted Nadal and then went on to beat Federer in the final.
Now, what a way to win your first Grand Slam title. In fact, he's beaten Nadal in the last 3 meetings that they've had. And in fact, all of those have been on a hard court similar to this one, and in North America. So that